Well, friends, good morning. I have always been so struck by this gospel because it seems so crazy, right? It just seems so crazy. This is the travel instructions that Jesus is giving his disciples as they're setting out on their missionary journeys. And you can imagine, like, a leader preparing his emissaries to go forth to represent him, to carry his authority out into the world. You can imagine what, like any normal leader would say, the sorts of advice that he would give, the packing instructions that he would indicate. And then you hear Jesus. He's like, don't bring anything. Nothing. Just bring nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's like he's deliberately stripping them. He's deliberately making them poor. He's deliberately putting them into a desperate situation. He's deliberately making them needy. This place of total dependence. Dependence upon the Father, first and foremost, his providence, his provision, his direction, all of those things. But secondarily, and almost of equal importance for what Jesus is trying to accomplish, dependent upon other people. Dependent upon other people, the hospitality of other people, right? So he says to them, take nothing for the journey. You can imagine all of their faces being like, wait, what did he say? Because that seems insane, right? I'm going on a journey, I got to bring stuff. No. Let me clarify. By nothing, what I mean is, don't bring a walking stick, don't bring a sack, don't bring food. That's where he would have lost me. Don't bring money, and let no one take a second tunic. So he's saying, I want you to be very smelly, very poor, very hungry, very weak. That's what he's telling them. He sends them on mission in such a way that they're going to need other people. They're going to need to depend on other people. They will need to be vulnerable. They're going to need to trust in the Father's provision. I'm struck by this because I'm often in the work of evangelization thinking about how to proclaim the gospel to people. This is not usually the mindset that I have. I don't think this is usually the mindset that the church has. I think often we have this mindset, we know something that you don't, and you had better listen, because this is really important for you. This mindset, this position of power. It seems like that's not what Jesus wants. We're supposed to evangelize, it seems like, from this place of poverty and this place of relationships, which makes sense, but it's a lot harder to do. I mean, if there's anything that Pope Francis has been emphasizing over and over again in his papacy, it's been the need and the role of accompaniment, accompanying folks, establishing and building relationships where there's first trust and mutuality and mutual buy-in. Like, it was from within these relationships that the apostles announced the good news. Like, I don't think they kicked down the doors and said, hey, I've got good news for you. I think they probably kicked down the doors or knocked on the door and said, do you have anything to eat? Friends, I just think this is a good examination for all of us. One, how much are we trusting the providence and provision of the Father? Or how self-sufficient are we making ourselves? Right? What is our sack, our money, our food, our walking stick? And then secondarily, like, am I willing to slow down and get involved in the messy lives of other people? Am I willing to need other people? Or am I just willing to just go about my day with blinders on, self-sufficiency mode? Because that doesn't seem to be the way that Jesus wants us to evangelize. He seems to want us to need other people, which seems pretty good. Amen.